There was a boy who was ambitious and wanted to invent something that will change the history of cars in the world. He didn't know what he was going to do. He started to work in a workshop, and after some time he left that. He started his own workshop and worked really hard there. But he was a great mind and a passionate person. He was not like other usual workers in the town. So, he started to make his own vehicle which ran on an engine and had 3 tires. He was successful in making it. Earlier engines worked on steam. But he made a real auto engine to replace the horse. Even after a lot of restrictions from the mayor of the town, he didn't stop and made a memorable car and changed history. Want to know about the boy? He is Karl Benz, the founder of the modern Mercedes Benz models. So, let's have a look at how his journey began and how he worked so hard and became successful even in the presence of difficulties due to the war situation in his country. Stay tuned with us until the end to know what you didn't know about Mercedes Benz. It was the year 1886 when Karl Benz made his first petrol car. This car also became patented, and then Karl along with other mates made a company with the name Daimler Benz. They started to sell their cars with the name Daimler. Then a person named Emil Jelinek started to sell Daimler cars because he liked them a lot. In 1900 he placed the order of 36 cars at a time. But Emil had some conditions. He asked to make him the sole distributor of these cars in Austria, Hungary, and other European countries. The second condition he put was that he wanted to name these cars Mercedes, which was the name of his daughter. Karl Benz was the son of an engineer who was born in the 1840s. He worked in a little foundry for a small time. Then he started his own local workshop after that in Mannheim. He didn't make a lot of money from his workshop. Then the time came when the internal combustion engine was introduced. Karl at that time wanted to make something like a machine that could replace horses. He made the first machine in 1885, and after that, it could be seen in the markets and streets. At that time steam cars were introduced, but people were not happy with them. Cars used to explode at that time a lot. The design was also not safe at that time because there were no safety doors, belts, or anything like that. The driving was also very firm. Karl Benz also became frustrated because the mayor of the town had stopped him from running any vehicle, and any accident that may happen in the city would be blamed on Benz. So, he was really worried. But he continued to work on his workshop continuously. One day his wife and family were also frustrated, and they went to his workshop and traveled in his car for a long distance, proving that there was no harm in driving it. But still, only skillful people could drive a car. As they say, great minds think alike and think big. There was another great mind, Gottlieb Daimler, who was thinking about his own mechanical transport. In the 1890s, Benz and Daimler started a business together, and they started to sell about 100 or 200 cars per year. Here comes another personality who was a politician and an entrepreneur named Emil Jelinek. He was a fan of Daimler cars, and in 1897, he joined the board of companies. He asked for an entirely new type of car from them, and he asked them to name it after his daughter Mercedes. Now it was the time of economic crisis in Germany, and it was difficult for Benz to cope with it too. In 1924, he merged with other companies, and Dr. Ferdinand joined as the technical director of the company and designed a 6-cylinder sports car model. In 1930, the Mercedes SS was made successfully. It was a very fashionable car to ever exist, and the speed and power were also amazing for a car at that time. The car was so expensive that only the elite or the rich class of people could afford it. Then this Mercedes SS needed some popularity. Many racers took part in sports car racing competitions, and SS was unbeatable. It won many competitions. Now in the 1930s, Mercedes was very popular and became really dominant in the market. It was famous for its luxurious lifestyle and advanced features that only it could provide. In 1933, when Hitler came into power, he wanted the world to know about the advanced cars that Germans make and show off his country's capabilities. He offered Mercedes-Benz a big subsidy to involve in Grand Prix. So from 1934 to 1939, Mercedes-Benz dominated the Grand Prix of motorsport, and it was popular everywhere in the world. Now the war has devastated Germany, and after 7 years of war, Mercedes-Benz introduced their brand new sports car on the market. Surpassing various difficulties of banning German goods in the world, Mercedes decided to make its name in the world of sports yet again after the ban was lifted. Other companies had already made their name in the field. But Mercedes started from scratch and with new ideas. It gained victory again after 15 years of war, defeating all those who made their name in its absence. This car, which was launched in 1955, was one of its kind. A very unique and beautiful model. But still, normal people couldn't afford these cars. Only the rich were blessed to afford these beasts. Its doors open upside and not like normal cars. It was a very awesome model to ever exist. There was a driver and a passenger seat, and on the backside, there was a spare tire of the car. It could move at the speed of 170 miles per hour with the 3-liter engine. Now, at the end of the 1950s, the company had completely recovered its position in the world. Now the company made Flagship, which was an entirely new classic model. It was the heaviest, biggest, and most modern car in the whole world by the Mercedes Benz. It was launched in 1966. This car was made for families or for the common person to drive on the roads. Its cost was about 25% more than that of Rolls-Royce at that time. Still, it was a very complex car, and it was very difficult for the manufacturers to produce it at this rate. Now the hydraulic system in the car was upgraded and advanced. It could control the mirrors of the doors. So it was like the most luxurious car at that time. After the post-war period, Mercedes had to do very hard work for the car's promotions. They also used to show the interior design of the cars in the media for the people to understand its worth. In 2019, it was announced that Mercedes-Benz AG will be formed that will make Mercedes trucks and buses marked with Mercedes badges. Still, up to date, a lot of models have been produced. The latest model that was produced in 2022 is the Mercedes-Benz EQS. EQS 53 is an electric car model with 560 kilowatts of power, with the cooling system matching the power system of the car. So, this was the short history of this brand. But have you ever wondered who made the logo of Mercedes-Benz? It was Gottlieb Daimler, who was the technical director of the company in 1909. This logo points to the land, sea, and air, which meant that Mercedes will dominate the world of vehicles one day. So this was the story of the boy who started by working in a workshop, then owning his own workshop. But he was not satisfied, so he made the first vehicle or machine with tires that were automatic. After much criticism, still he didn't lose hope and made his sports car. The big brains joined him and showed his marvelous cars to the world. Still, there is no match in luxury and advanced features when it comes to Mercedes-Benz. Have you enjoyed today's video? Tell us in the comment section. Thanks for watching.